sound like 007 and 64 and shit. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jane Gold all in my
Good evening, trading addicts. Welcome to the weekly watch list. My name is Jeff Kohler, aka Option Addict, from over at www.tradingaddicts.com. Also tabbed blogger over at ibankcoin.com/option addict. Anyways, let's talk about market setup really quickly. We were looking for the bounce last week. Got it. Made a boatload of money last week. Now, coming into this week, I don't think the market's completely out of the woods yet, meaning I don't just think we scream to new highs from here. The reason why I think that is we've been watching the relationship in the indices kind of up against one another. You know, while the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ all traded pretty well on Friday, all up about 1% on average, it was the Russell that kind of lagged behind and didn't really rally as hard, dumped right after the closing bell. That kind of sold the Russell into the closing bell. I don't know if anybody noticed that watching the TF on Friday. So I'm of the opinion that if the Russell doesn't quickly get up above 990, if we don't see it start to lead here, or furthermore, that's also something we'll watch is if the market starts to pull back a little bit, how the Russell responds. But as a measurement of risk, the fact that it's been lagging here just a tad lately has me a little bit concerned. So if you watch the video that I posted from my Friday's trading room, I discussed where if we're not able to get above 990, I expect a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of backfilling, and once we see the S&P get back to about 1620 or so, which that might take to about midweek, I'll be looking to start putting on some meaningful positions here. Meaningful meaning a little bit longer dated, aside from the short dated stuff that we made a fortune with at the end of last week. But coming into this week, don't want to chase things too high. In fact, I would actually like if stocks pulled back a little bit. If you zoom in on the structure here on the let's say 20-minute chart, if we do see another bit of a pullback here, but do not take out the low, we'll have a nice little reversal pattern set up, and then a break above 1645, 1650, basically above this balance. Will be super bullish for stocks. So I think it takes a little bit of time for that to happen. I think that ends up being the outcome. But that's kind of what I'm looking for this week, hoping for a pullback, but kind of willing to trade them either way. The great thing is that this pullback in the last several weeks has really reset the setups. I mean, there's a ton out there. I won't go to that depth, because we provide daily watch lists as well, and I'll be doing that throughout the week as usual. But some of the stuff that I wanted to hit just really quickly are the strength in China stocks. You look at Baidu, which is a name that we've been super bullish on, and but anyways, one of the stocks that I like that really hasn't broken out yet is this Chengyu, which has formed a really nice kind of rounded bottom, good resistance up here, good anticipatory setup for a breakout, nice volume on Friday. That's a name that I'll be watching for a pop this week. I also am a pretty big fan of Priceline here. We'll look for a buying opportunity into any weakness, but I kind of missed my spot on Friday coming into this week for a long, so I'm anxiously awaiting any kind of a pullback or a move back down to about 810 or so, where I'll be looking to get myself some short-dated options there. Google, same thing. Big breakout of this flag, that we were talking about midweek last week, that we were in front of, and again, any kind of a pullback back down to the 865 area. So these are the stocks I need a little bit of weakness for, but I'm eager to buy dips in. Same thing with Amazon, which that was one of our better trades last week, and Baidu as well. Baidu, another big ripper. A retest of 100 if at any point we get that. I've already got a trade on, but I'm looking to enhance that, of course. So Netflix, I would keep an eye on this setup for a big pop this week. Netflix has been another stock that's been kind of quietly coiling up. Again, I can't tell to this point whether it makes it up or down. But the way I'm looking at this is that we'll see some buying pressure the next time this thing trades up above about 221. So could be anticipating the long if I see some strength coming out Monday. If not, the next trade down here beneath 216, 215 should make for a pretty big breakdown to the downside. You know what else I like here too? Well, I've been last week talking about eyeballing more conservative stocks. I really like the setup in Molycorp, to be quite honest. Good structure, good base, and I like these wedge patterns. And if you look at Molycorp, it's to me, it's found acceptance down here at 75. If it does pop this week above 595.6, I think it goes immediately back to 660 up against the underside of this old balance. So there's a good 12 to 15% move in Molycorp at some point this week that I want to try to catch. I've got the Apple long on. I hope I explained that in the blog post that I posted. I do think that there's one good trade. Once Apple breaks above 460, it's immediately going to fill 500 based on that volume pocket discussion that we had, and that'll be the last good trade in Apple this year. We initiated a long Friday, which I'm going to hang on to, but I would continue to buy weakness. Speaking of weakness, I'm hoping I see LinkedIn down at about 165. If I get that pullback, I'm a big time buyer in that stock down here. The solar stocks. First Solar's been coiling up again too. The range is contracting, which tells me the tighter this range gets, the closer that breakout is. So I think the next opportunity you get to trade this down around 52, try the long. Or if you think that we're going to see a breakdown in these solar stocks, then naturally up around 53, 54, look for put buying opportunities. But the structure is such that if First Solar gets above 60, there's one of the biggest volume pockets ever out there, all the way back up to 100. So I'm looking for breakout opportunities in this stock based on the momentum in that group. Other stocks that I'll do is I'm going to post an attachment list of the $10 and under stocks that I usually like to trade. There's some money setups out there in those names this week too. So once the popular names and the momentum names get a little bit extended, we're going to flop over and start going over to the $10 and under stocks. But for right now, the setups are actionable enough to where I want to start chasing those and looking for big swings in some of those stocks. Again, for this week, I'm hoping for a little bit of market weakness, but a couple things I'll be watching is copper. Copper's a little bit weak here before the market opens. A nice little breakdown. It's up off the lows, but pretty heavy. Same thing, banks closed really strong on Friday. I want to see continuation in the financials. That's been the one thing that's been different about this particular rally since it started last year, is that financials have led where they haven't in any other rally in the last 5 years. Watching the VIX, don't want to see a close north of 18. And watching the FXI. I think the FXI plays out as a really important indicator here. All those things we'll be talking about, blogging about, and trading this upcoming week. So appreciate you guys stopping by. This has been The Option Addict. That's been my watch list. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome week.
Jane gold all in my chain.